The elder races had ruled the galaxy for millennia, their dominance unquestioned. Power was not measured by technology, nor by fleets of warships, but by something far more primal: control over the most fearsome creatures nature could produce. Entire civilizations had fallen, not to lasers or bombs, but to genetically perfected war beasts engineered to slaughter without mercy. These creatures were marvels of biological warfare, honed over centuries. Their claws could shred through reinforced armor, their reflexes faster than any soldier's aim. They obeyed only their masters, bound by neural links and instinctive programming. Across the galaxy, when the elder races unleashed their beasts, no force, biological or mechanical, had ever stood against them and survived. That was the order of things. That was the rule. And then, they discovered Earth. At first, humanity seemed insignificant. A young race, still confined to a single planet, their technology primitive compared to the wonders of the elder empires. A scouting fleet was sent, expecting nothing more than another species to subjugate. The first landing party touched down in a remote region, their sensors detecting organic life forms larger than anything they had anticipated. Towering creatures prowled the land, beasts with muscled frames, fanged maws, and eyes that gleamed with raw predatory instinct. The scouts hesitated. Even among the elder races, it was rare to encounter such natural killing machines outside controlled breeding programs. Yet these creatures roamed freely, moving with the confidence of apex predators. Their scanners struggled to classify them. Some were marked as feline, others canine, and a few were entirely unknown. But the real shock came when they detected the energy signatures of a more advanced intelligence nearby. Humans. The scouts readied their weapons. If these were Earth's war beasts, then surely their masters would be close by. Their orders were simple: observe, assess, and if necessary, subdue. One of the creatures turned toward them, a massive feline, its muscles rippling beneath its sleek coat. It let out a guttural sound, something between a growl and a warning. The elder soldiers instinctively activated their defense protocols. The situation was becoming hostile. And then, the unexpected happened. A human emerged from the tree line. A single unarmed figure, dressed in simple attire. The elders tensed, their weapons trained on him. But he didn't seem alarmed. In fact, he smiled. "Here, kitty." The war beast, what should have been Earth's most dangerous biological weapon, made a sound the elders had never heard before. A deep, rumbling purr. The human reached out, running his hand through the creature's fur as if it were nothing more than a household companion. The monstrous feline rubbed its head against him, eyes half-lidded in contentment. The elder soldiers stood frozen. Their minds struggled to process what they were witnessing. This was not a war beast in the way they understood. It had no neural implants, no genetic conditioning. It was not bound by programming or control frequencies. It was willingly obedient. The scouts barely had time to react before more humans appeared, men, women, even children, each accompanied by similarly formidable creatures. Canines with thick fur and powerful jaws, avian predators with razor-sharp talons perched on their shoulders. Some humans led towering beasts on simple leashes, creatures that should have been impossible to tame. The elder commander gave the order to retreat. He didn't know what terrified him more: the fact that Earth held so many lethal creatures, or the fact that humans played with them. The delegation arrived on Earth with caution. Their mission was simple: gather intelligence, understand the nature of humanity's creatures, and determine whether they posed a real threat. They had faced apex predators before, but nothing could have prepared them for what they saw. At a military base, they watched as humans interacted with beasts that should have been lethal. Large canines followed soldiers with unwavering discipline, their eyes filled with intelligence. These were no ordinary animals. The delegation's handlers attempted to use control frequencies, standardized commands meant to override primal instincts, but the creatures ignored them entirely. Instead, they responded only to their human companions, obeying commands not through force, but through trust. One of the delegates attempted to approach cautiously. A massive canine regarded him with piercing eyes, ears twitching as if reading his intent. It bared its teeth, not in aggression, but in warning. The human next to it chuckled and gave the beast a simple command. Instantly, the creature relaxed, sitting obediently at his feet. This wasn't control. This was something far more terrifying. They were taken to what humans call the wildlife sanctuary. The delegation assumed it to be another training ground for war beasts. The reality was far worse. They watched as humans casually approached creatures that should have torn them apart. Felines the size of elder warriors stretched lazily beneath the sun, acknowledging their human caretakers with nothing more than a flick of the tail. Monstrous primates loomed over visitors, their sheer physical power undeniable, yet they showed no hostility. A keeper stepped into an enclosure, feeding an armored reptile the size of a transport vessel, speaking to it as if it were a mere companion. Then came the final revelation. Extinct creatures. Beasts that had vanished from Earth's history, now walking once more among the living. The delegation stood frozen as they witnessed ancient apex predators reborn, saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, even raptors engineered from long-lost genetics. "You brought them back?" one of the elders whispered. A human nodded. "Yeah. Thought it'd be cool." They didn't understand. No civilization in the galaxy sought to revive the monsters of its past. No species willingly restored its deadliest threats. But humanity had done so, not for war, but simply because they wanted to. And if these were just their pets, what did that say about the humans themselves? The war began with confidence. The elder races had crushed countless civilizations before, their war beasts tearing through defenses like paper. Humanity, for all its strange ways, was still young, still bound to a single planet. Victory was inevitable. Their war beasts were deployed first, engineered creatures bred for destruction. They landed on human territory, expecting terror, submission. Instead, they were met with something far worse: laughter. Humans didn't cower. They didn't flee. They watched with amusement, as if the invaders were putting on a performance. And then the real battle began. The first wave of elder war beasts charged. They encountered no resistance at first, only silence. Then, out of the darkness, came movement, shadows slipping between trees, eyes gleaming in the night. Not machines. Not soldiers. Wolves. Not wild, mindless animals, but trained hunters, moving in coordinated packs, flanking, cutting off escape routes. They were not controlled by neural links, nor guided by instinct alone. They fought with intelligence, working alongside their human masters in a way the elders had never seen before. Larger creatures followed. Massive tigers, their bodies enhanced with armor, moving with the grace of natural-born killers. Falcons soared overhead, their cybernetic implants locking onto key targets, delivering pinpoint strikes that shattered enemy lines. The elder commanders ordered their war beasts forward, but something was wrong. Their creatures hesitated, recoiling. They sensed something older, something they had never encountered before. Then the ground trembled. The beast humans had hidden until now finally stepped forward. Creatures that should have never existed, pulled from extinction and reforged into weapons. Saber-toothed cats lunged, their fangs piercing through bioengineered flesh. Raptors, too fast to counter, weaved through enemy ranks, their talons cutting through reinforced armor like it was nothing. The elder warlords, for the first time in their history, felt something foreign: fear. They had always believed war beasts were the pinnacle of battle. But humans had taken creatures from their own world, creatures nature had perfected, and simply lived beside them. If these were just their pets, what horrors did humanity keep in reserve? The elder races fled. Their once mighty war beasts lay broken, torn apart by creatures they had dismissed as mere pets. Humanity had shattered them, not with superior technology, nor overwhelming numbers, but with something far more terrifying: control. Not the artificial bonds of genetic programming or neural links, but true, unbreakable loyalty. Humans did not command their beasts through force. They did not need implants or chains. Their creatures followed them willingly, fought for them, died for them, not out of fear, but out of love. It was unnatural. It was horrifying. The surviving elders gathered in council, desperate to understand. How had humanity turned apex predators into allies? How had they bred such unwavering obedience without breaking the creatures' spirits? No answer made sense. No science could explain it. Reports filtered in from across the warfront. Some of the elder war beasts had survived, abandoned in the retreat. What happened next sent chills through the council. The humans took them in. Creatures bred for war, for destruction, for conquest, humans simply adopted them. They spoke to them in soft voices, offered food, comfort, affection. And in an impossible act of defiance against nature itself, the war beast chose to stay. The elders realized too late that humanity's true power was never their technology, or their weapons. It was something far deeper, something woven into their very existence. They did not conquer their world. They befriended it. And now, they were doing the same to the galaxy.